This video is about exhaustion. Everyone's least favourite condition in DnD 5e, it is supposed to represent the body burning out after extreme physical exertion, lack of rest, food or drink, or exposure to harsh environments, or any number of things that the DM would rule as causing a need for rest and recovery. And in its current state, it does that job. You get different levels of exhaustion depending on how exhausted you are, and the effects from each level stack. So your player can do less stuff, less effectively, the more exhausted they become. And if you gain 6 levels of exhaustion, you die. It is a great way to add pressure on long or dangerous journeys, as well as encouraging roleplay and preparation by the party to make sure they have enough food, water, and get enough sleep. The issue is that most tables avoid using exhaustion mechanics in 5e because they are horrible. On paper they work. 6 levels of status effects that represent a player's slow decline in ability due to exhaustion, but in reality, there are simply too many rules to easily remember off the top of your head. It's hard to keep enforced, and it's kind of harsh. You know what else is kind of harsh? You not hitting that subscribe button. You see, every time a DM deems a player starts to get exhausted, they take 1 level of exhaustion, causing them to have disadvantage on all ability checks. If the DM deems that the player gets even more exhausted, and they take 2 levels of exhaustion, then their speed is halved. Something absolutely crippling in the game, especially in combat. If the player takes a 3rd level of exhaustion, then they get disadvantage on all attack rolls and saving throws, which is just so far from being fun. And at 4th level of exhaustion, their hit point maximum is halved. And at 5th level, their speed is reduced to 0, meaning they can't move any distance at all. And at 6th level, they die. Now you can see what the condition is designed to do here. However, all these effects stack, and taking a long rest only diminishes your exhaustion by 1 point. So if you're unfortunate to hit level 5, it would take you 5 long rests to fully recover, which means it would take you 5 in-game days, since you can only benefit from 1 long rest every 24 hours. It's simply not fun to keep track of the many different aspects of exhaustion, so most tables just don't use it. They just pretend it doesn't exist, or they use it just really sparingly, which is a shame, because I think exhaustion is a great tool that should be used by DMs to make their game more fulfilling for their players. If only exhaustion was just easier to navigate for both DM and players alike, it would be a very powerful, immersive tool. But it's hell right now. So what's the solution? Well, Wizards of the Coast, the D&D designers, are already on top of it, and they put forth a new exhaustion alternative that they want to use in D&D's next edition, 1D&D. Pretty much this new exhaustion system, and it's just a proposed exhaustion system, so it's still very far from being anything official and may change a lot, but it seems like a lot of people like it. But it simplifies the whole thing, giving people 10 levels of exhaustion instead of the previous 6. But rather than each level having different weird effects that you have to remember, the only thing you have to do if you are exhausted is take the level of exhaustion you have and minus that from all your d20 rolls. So if you take 1 level of exhaustion, you have a -1 to all ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. At level 2, you have a -2. Level 3, -3, 4, -4, all the way up to 9, where you get a -9. And at level 10, you die. But this is great for so many reasons. Not you dying, the exhaustion rules. The first of which is that it's super easy to remember and enforce. If you're a DM and you've given out exhaustion and a player wants to roll, you simply ask, what level of exhaustion are you right now? And if they say, oh, I'm level 5, you just -5 off that roll. The second great thing about it is that you can hand out exhaustion more liberally, since the effects are less harsh and there are more levels before, you die. But it means next time your players don't eat or sleep or get any rest at all for days, you can make them feel like they are disadvantaged for doing that without ruining the game for them. There is one big caveat to this system though, and that is that character speed isn't affected by exhaustion at all, which doesn't make any sense to me narratively. I mean, I think if you get exhausted, even a little bit, and especially if you get level 8 or level 9 exhaustion, maybe you shouldn't be able to dash 60 feet in 6 seconds. So at least for me, as I incorporate these rules in my games, I'm probably going to have some speed disadvantage in there as well. Maybe every 2 levels of exhaustion you take, you lose 5 feet of speed. Or, to make it even easier on myself, if you hit level 5 exhaustion, your speed is halved. This way it would just feel like the characters are affected all the time by exhaustion, not just when they're trying to roll to do something. And as with the 5e rules, the ruling on this system is the same, and every long rest you take cures 1 level of exhaustion. Meaning that if you get close to death and hit level 9 exhaustion, you would need to rest up for 9 days, which I think is pretty fair. Anyway, if you got this far in the video, thank you, please like it, and check out this video next all about using ChatGPT to make your life as a DM 100 times easier. Thanks for watching. Why are you still here?